G5 jet. I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back, eSIMstudios YouTube channel, podcast, live stream, whatever you want to call it. We are back live on YouTube. Today's April 1st, 2026. Now, I wish this was an April Fool's joke. Sad to say, I don't have one for you. So the thumbnail is true. Very disappointed with the network testing I did today on the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. We're going to have all that for you, testing results. But I want to get to a couple of quick stories. I may chop this up and use them as, what do you call them, shorts? But because the explanation for this, damn, is my glyph light on? The explanation that I'm going to break down with this Nothing Phone 4a Pro, it's going to be a little, we're not going to be here for an hour, at least I hope not. But we're going to get into it. But I want to knock these out first. Disappointed with the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. We'll get into it. Let me turn this glyph light off. How's everybody doing? Are y'all doing all right today? I hope everybody had a good day today. Hey, how's it going? Appreciate you joining me today. Hopefully we'll get. I want to get a few more people in here, and we'll hit the network testing results that I had with the Nothing Phone 4a Pros. Interesting day today. Had a lot that went wrong, honestly. And I was just gonna upload a network test video like I do with every other device, and had some issues today, not just with the networks. I'll let you know in just a second. Appreciate you joining us, Carlos. Hang on, I'll get to all that. Hey, what's going on? I sent your case today. If you check the tracking number, it should be on its way. I dropped it off like around 3 p.m. today, so it'll start moving tonight. Your OnePlus 15 case. Let me turn this glyph light off. I think it's been on for hours. I remember turning it on earlier this afternoon, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to turn it off. There we go. Good. Okay. So I'm gonna let a few more people roll in here. I hope everybody had a great day today. I'm only running on a few hours of sleep, so I'm running on fumes, and it may explain why I'm a little scatterbrained today. But I wanted to hit a couple of stories real quick. And again, I'm not going to spend but more than a minute or two on each story. I think there's 2 or 3 of them, and then we'll roll into the Nothing Phone 4a Pro, because I want to make sure everybody's here that can watch this, can listen to it. Looks like we got some more people in here. What, about 58 people? Let's do this. Let me share my screen. I got all of my graphics loaded, so hopefully I can share a screen here. I think I got everything filled up. I got screenshots, videos, everything from my network testing today. Let's see here. Can I share a screen? What do you know? So let's do this. Just, what was it, yesterday or 2 days ago, we hit on the Pixel 11 series leaked. And for good reason. Again, all these companies do this. Whenever a new phone comes out, they say, hey, don't forget about us over here. And everybody does it. It's not just Pixel. But we got new photos of the Pixel 11 Pro this time. Yesterday or 2 days ago, it was the 11, the base model. And today we got a render of the Pro series. Now remember, the Pixel 11 Pro and Pro XL look identical. So the XL will just be a little bit bigger. Well, a decent. What is this? The Pro is what, 6.3, and I think the Pro XL 6.9. So it's a decent size bigger. But here is the Pixel 11 Pro. Not a big shocker. It looks identical to the Pixel 11. Just want to let everybody know it is available out there. Beautiful looking device. I think I'm gonna get the XL this year. I got the 10 Pro this year, but the XL does have faster charging, so that's a huge necessity for myself, is faster charging. So I think I'm gonna go with the XL this year. But that technically, this is the Pro, but remember, the XL, they look identical. So the expected launch date for these is in mid-August. The Pixel 10 series launched on my birthday, so I don't, and Google actually invited me to their Pixel 9 release. I didn't get an invitation for Pixel 10. Um, I don't know why. Uh, Whatever. We'll see. Look, I don't know if I'll go to this one. I really want to go to a launch. I've never been to one before, and they actually, the thing that sucks is they invite you like a week or two before it's official, and the airfare, trying to find airfare on a 1 week's notice is insane. That's why I didn't go for the Pixel 9 series launch, because the airfare was it was in San Francisco. The following year for the Pixel 10, it was in New York. And the 11, I don't know where this is going to be. Hopefully it's back in well, who knows? I don't know if I'm going to go, but, and that's the other thing. I can't plan for it, right? Because if I knew it was going to be in San Francisco, I'd be like, okay, well, let me just block out these 3-4 days in San Francisco, and then I can go, so I can get lower airfare plan in advance. It's insane how expensive it is. Thousands of dollars. So I'm like, I'd go for sure if they would pay for the airfare, but I mean, I'm sure they do on some big YouTube channels, but not for eSIM, not for eSIMstudios. It's all good. It's all good. No worries. I know a couple of people at the Team Pixel who actually are employees of Google and work at Team Pixel. So send the invitation if you would like. I'll try to make it this year, but I don't know if I will be able to. Okay, so there's the Pixel 11. We're going to get into the Nothing Phone 4a Pro, but first, I want to let everybody know, if you have an S26 Ultra, guess what? You got an update. Now, I was wrong. I want to make a correction because 3 days ago, I said when the AirDrop to quick share was enabled for the Samsung Galaxy S26 series, I said it was included in the March security patch update. That was incorrect. They just enabled it, right? I technically still have the February. I checked this morning. I was like, what? I still have the February security patch, and so does everybody else on the S26 Ultra. It looks like, I looked into it today, the word is on the streets, on these internet streets, is that on Samsung Street, is that they are going to skip. Now, I've never seen this before, but whatever. They're going to skip the March update completely and just go from February to April. I mean, they can do whatever they want, quite honestly. And I guess what they do technically is whatever was going to go into the security patch for the security codes, the security updates that was going to roll in, that was going to be included in the March security patch update. They were just going to combine those with the April security patches and just combine those two together and push them out. Now, apparently it was pushed out this morning. I've checked my S26 Ultra a couple times today. Nothing yet. But again, it's not like Apple when they release it, everybody gets it literally at the same time. It's not like iPhone. It's going to take a few days. So if you do have a S26 Ultra, just check it every morning, and one of these mornings here in the next few days, you'll get it for sure. Now, what's new in this update? I don't know. Probably just, as you see right here, pretty basic. Stability improvements related to security have been applied. So nothing groundbreaking visually, no new graphics, no new applications, no new icons, nothing visually appealing. Everything looks like it's behind the curtain type of stuff, right? Just security patches, and that's good. That's very good. But just update it whenever you can. No rush. Settings, software update, download it, install. Now, I wonder how heavy this is. Does it say how heavy it is as far as the file size? It does not. Anyways, check your Galaxy S26 Ultra or S26 series device here in the next few days for an update. Now, we got to talking about CPUs, and I did a CPU comparison between the Samsung Exynos 2600 that's in the S26 and S26 Plus versus the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 that's in the Ultra. And what do you know? MediaTek says, don't forget about us. So they just launched, had like a press release of their brand new flagship absolute beast MediaTek Dimensity 9600. This is on an all new 2 nanometer node. Not the same, well, technically it is. It's Samsung's Exynos 2600 CPU is on a 2 nanometer node. Basically, like the foundation, right? If you think of a home, the foundation, that's like the foundation of a CPU, the 2 nanometers. This is the first 2 nanometer chipset to be put out by the manufacturer TSMC. MediaTek uses TSMC for all their packing, for all their CPU packing, meaning they design it, MediaTek designs it, and then TSMC builds it. Well, Samsung doesn't use TSMC. Samsung uses themselves, which is why you still see some of the overheating, which we reviewed a couple days ago. TSMC usually well, not usually, they are money when it comes to CPU building, and I don't think this MediaTek Dimensity 9600 is going to have any overheating issues. Of course, we'll have to wait and see, but just to let you know, it's out there, it's ready to be used, and I wish more companies would use this because I don't know what devices they're going to put this in. I cannot wait to get my hands on this. Probably a Xiaomi. Not many phone companies use MediaTek, but just want to let you know they are certainly out and about, and this is probably going to be, at the moment, the biggest, best, latest, and greatest, highest performing, most efficient mobile chipset in the world. So we'll have to see what phones they come in. Maybe it says here, I'm not quite sure. I don't think they mentioned it, but just keep your eye on that. I'll definitely keep my eye on it. Now, let's see. What are your thoughts on the S26 Ultra and OnePlus 15 so far? They're both good phones. You cannot go wrong with either one. That's my, and honestly, the camera quality is about the same. The S26 Ultra, not gonna blow you away with the photos. The OnePlus 15, although it's better than what everybody says they are, because everybody talks shit about the OnePlus 15 cameras, they're not that bad. So camera quality is actually right on par with the S26 Ultra. Dare I say it takes better photos than the S26 Ultra. I've seen some photos that look better in the OnePlus 15. So it just comes down to what you want to use, personal preference. They're basically the same. It's just the S26 Ultra has an S Pen. Let's be honest, right? So you can't go wrong with either one. Personal preference. Now, let's get into the Nothing Phone 4a Pro in the network issues that we had with it today. What a shame, what a shame. I can't believe we are in this same spot. Now, let me take a drink of water because this is going to get a little crazy. Yeah, you're definitely welcome. They're great phones. You cannot go wrong with either one. In fact, if you want to save if you want to save a few $100, go with the OnePlus 15. And you'll have a similar, and the battery life is insane. So, definitely I'll hear a case for somebody choosing the OnePlus 15 over the S26 Ultra all day. Like, I'll agree. I could use the OnePlus 15 as my main phone, right? In fact, I did. I just put my SIM card in the S26 Ultra just because it came out, but I might go back to it. But let's get into the let's get into this. So, what are we going to do with Nothing? What are we going to do with this phone? I had excitement when this was announced, extra excitement when we heard they were going to make this Nothing Phone 4a Pro available to the entire US market outside of the beta program, how they did with all their previous phones, right? I was like, oh wow, it's going to be available, unlocked, all carriers, no more. Will it work for this? Will it work for that? It only works half of the time with this carrier, full time for that carrier. It doesn't work for this carrier at all. After doing network testing today, we're sitting in the same exact boat. We have not changed one bit since Nothing has come to the US market, beta program or no beta program. I came back to the house very disappointed and almost like, what are we doing? Like, okay, so let me tell you how my day started, right? We'll roll into this. And this is why I wanted to get all those other news topics out of the way first, because I know we're going to spend a lot of time on this. And I want to take you through the day. So I had this grand old plan to make this really good video, network testing, this, that, had really good audio, had a real good, setup, and I had this little spot out in the corner of Walgreens, a perfect little spot out in the middle of nowhere where I can really good positioning, where I can get towers, where I've filmed all my previous network testing before. In the day just literally went upside down. My audio was real shitty on the video. It sounded, I don't know what went wrong. It was just one of those days where everything went wrong. So essentially scrapped everything. I did save proof because I know I'm going to get called out by somebody, right? It seems like every time I bring something like this forward, or whatever, I always get called out in the comments from somebody. So I'm like, well, at least I got video of me doing the network testing. But I also have screenshots to prove what works and what doesn't work, and kind of the process that we went through today. So I have T-Mobile. Let's start out with the phone, the A series. Now, I haven't had the phone 3, so phone 2, I didn't have any issues, but I didn't do a network. I started doing network testing on these devices with the 2A. So I had the 2, just use it with T-Mobile, no network testing video. I got the 2A, and I was like, you know what? Let's do a network test. So I have T-Mobile as my main carrier. It's my main SIM, my personal line, friends, family, all that good stuff. The 2A came out, did a network test on that. On the 2A, T-Mobile worked flawlessly. Verizon did not work at all. The AT&T network, only 3G and like 1 4G band work. Move forward to the 3A. This time last year, T-Mobile worked flawlessly, no problems. Verizon didn't work again. AT&T, very weird, worked for a few weeks, maybe a month, and then I got kicked off of their network. Now, on AT&T's website, when you want to add a line or you want to buy a plan, it'll ask you what phone you're using, put in your IMEI. AT&T said it would not allow this is on the 3A, would not let you add this device on our network. It will not work on our network. So what did I do? I got a SIM card, and I signed up with a S24 Ultra, S25 Ultra IMEI with this physical SIM card. And then all I did is I added service to this physical SIM card, and then I stuck that in the 3A. Well, after a month or so, they kicked me off the network. So I guess AT&T didn't really work either with the 3A. Those were all released on the beta program, right? And it says in fine print, when you purchased it, it'll say may or may not work with US carriers. So nothing's like, here, you can buy the phone, but we're not going to guarantee it works on the carriers. T-Mobile, no issues. Never had any issues. Moving forward to today. So we knew this was out of the beta program. We knew that this is going to be fully unlocked for all US carriers. Boy, was I so happy. And I was not just happy for myself. I was happy for nothing, because I knew many of y'all that do not have T-Mobile were going to be able to use a fantastic device, a fun device to use, and not have any issues with, will it work with this, will it not work with that. I thought those days were long gone, behind us. What do you know? We're still in those network issue days. So today started off, I have my T-Mobile SIM as usual. Don't need to worry about T-Mobile networks because I have a SIM. I was just going to throw it in here and test it, which I did. So now now for the test today, I needed to get a AT&T SIM and a Verizon SIM. So before I left the house, I was like, let me sign up get some service, and then I'll go do the network test. So first up, what do I do? AT&T. Go on their website. This year, I'm going to download an eSIM. So when you go buy service of bring your own device, BYOD, it asks you what device you're going to use, what's the IMEI, see if it works, if it's compatible with our network. I was like, okay, well, let's find out if it's compatible, right? What do you know? I put in the IMEI, said, yay, it's compatible. I'm like, yes, finally. So we're on a good track, right? It wouldn't accept it last year. Now it accepts it. So I'm like, cool. So I get a little $20 plan, and I made sure 4G, 5G, and this plan I got has AT&T has a new standalone 5G network similar to what T-Mobile has. The brand new network, fantastic speeds, fantastic signal. I was like, sweet, because somebody asked me, do you get ultra wideband on here? I was like, I don't know. I'm about to find out. So cool. Downloaded the eSIM, paid for it, then downloaded the eSIM. Activated it right as I was sitting here. Sweet, ready to go. eSIM ready. And then what do I do? And then it's Verizon's turn. Now, you can only have one eSIM and then like one physical SIM or two physical SIMs. So I got one T-Mobile physical SIM I was going to put in here. I have one AT&T eSIM that I activated, locked and loaded in here. So that means I can't have two eSIMs. So that means I have to have a Verizon physical SIM because I can take out my T-Mobile SIM, put in my physical Verizon SIM, test that, right? So I was ready. I ordered this last week. Verizon SIM kit. Bring your own phone. So open it up, go through the steps, activate your SIM. Okay, no problem. Pick a plan, activate your SIM. Cool. So I get on Verizon's website to go activate my SIM. So I pick a plan out, right? And it's like, okay, cool. 5G, 4G, all good to go. Get to the next step in the process. See if your phone's compatible with our network. See if it's unlocked. Okay, let's go. Copy, paste the IMEI. Boom. I get hit with this. The phone associated with the device ID you entered is not compatible with the Verizon wireless network. Now, I know what you're going to say. Where it says make and model, it says S25. Well, guess what? Nothing. They want you to pick your phone and then put in your IMEI. Well, guess what? There was no option for nothing. It was a select your device. You can't type it in. It was like iPhone, Galaxy, Motorola. They didn't even have OnePlus. Just your basic stuff. iPhone, Samsung, Motorola, and Pixel, and that was it. So I was like, are you serious? And so then I put in my IMEI number from the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. Now I blurred out the last few numbers because I don't want anybody to get any ideas. But entered not compatible. So I'm like, well, maybe it's because I chose S25 and the S25 doesn't match with the IMEI number. So what do? Get on the phone, call Verizon. And I talk to the person. I know I have to get to the next level because the people that just answer the calls, they really don't know what's going on. So I tell them what the deal is. And like, a nothing phone? What's a nothing phone? Oh, Jesus. I've had to explain that nobody knows. They don't know what a nothing phone is. So I'm like, well, can you just pass me on to a tier 2 or tier 1 or tier 2? After a few minutes going back and forth, and look, I'm polite. I'm not rude by any means, but I'm just like, can we please get on with this? And so finally, she passes me on to a tech specialist, tech support, tier 1, tier 2. I explain to them what's going on. What's a nothing phone? Oh, Jesus. I'm like, whatever. Can you just accept? I told him what the deal was. I can't select nothing on your list, but I have the IMEI. I asked him, can you physically and or manually whitelist the IMEI? Meaning, can you manually add it to your approved list of IMEIs that'll work on your network, right? because the system clearly doesn't want to activate it. Can you activate it for me? Can you tell the system, accept this IMEI? No, you can't do it. I'm like, well, is it even possible? He says, no, it's not up to us. He said, we can't add it. He says that's on the highest, one of the highest levels, meaning we can't manually activate a phone to work on the network. He said that's up to the phone manufacturers. So I'm like, so it's not going to work. Verizon's not going to work. I said it says it's fully unlocked. And he's like, well, if we can't approve it on to work on our network, it won't work. Do you have another phone we can? I'm like, no, I don't have another phone. I'm trying to do a YouTube video on this. So anyways, it won't work on Verizon. Sucks. I spent 42 minutes on the phone with this guy trying to figure any which way, any question I could ask that would try to get him to approve this. He can't approve it. It's up to nothing. It's up to the Verizon executives to make it work. It's not up to us, the users and the tech help. So the Nothing Phone 4A Pro will not work on Verizon. But then I thought, well, you know what? What if you had a Verizon physical SIM card that had service that you're already paying on, that you could just take out of your phone, out of your existing phone, and then put it in the Nothing Phone 4A Pro, boom, you know, you're all good, right? And then I remembered AT&T, and I brought this up to him as well. It'll kick you off the network. And I realized when he was explaining it to me how it works, that's what happened with AT&T the previous year on the Nothing Phone 3A. I tricked the system. I had an existing AT&T SIM card with service, with a phone number, with data, an active SIM card that I just kind of snuck in the Nothing Phone 3A and actually did a network test, and it worked fine. But after it realized I was using a AT&T SIM on a non-approved IMEI number or non-approved phone, it kicked me off the network. It just stopped working one day. And that's exactly what would happen if you tried to do that with a active Verizon physical SIM. And you can't depend on that. If you want to use this phone with service, the last thing you want to do is be out and about and your service gets dropped and you're screwed. You can't make a phone call, can't get data. Nobody wants that. So Verizon is non-existent on this Nothing Phone 4A Pro. That sucks. So yeah, back to the carrier issues on Nothing phones. Jesus, my Gemini's just got activated. So Verizon doesn't work. So I said, okay, since Verizon doesn't work, let me just go out and check it out. This will also affect Verizon MVNOs, like visible, like Verizon won't work, or any Verizon MVNOs like visible. I had a list of Verizon. I'll probably put it down below in the video description box when this is done. But I had a list of Verizon MVNOs. Here we go. It is, I'll just read it off real quick. These are carriers that will not work with the Nothing Phone 4A Pro. Ready? Visible will not work. Xfinity Mobile will not work. Verizon prepaid, Verizon postpaid, TracFone will not work. Straight Talk will not work. Net 10, Total Wireless, Spectrum Mobile will not work. Page Plus, Red Pocket, Celltel will not work. Boom Mobile and Credo Mobile, never heard of those, but those will not work. So I left the house, AT&T and T-Mobile, let's go. And then I got another surprise while doing the network test. So let me pull this up. So here's the network test I did. So while I was doing, wait, hold up. Let me show you this, because this is going to be a key factor in what happened today. When I went outside, when I was getting when I was about to hit record, I noticed I was just getting the 4G logo. And I was like, well, sometimes that happens. Sometimes it'll get stuck on on a band, and see, a simple restart will get it back onto 5G. It'll refresh the network. It'll grab the best, strongest signal. And I just thought that was the same situation with this, right? So I restarted it. Boom, back on 4G. What 4G? What the hell? It's like, all right, well, maybe I just need to go into the settings to switch 5G on, right? Well, take a look at this. Yikes, not that. Take a look at this. So this is the network settings in the settings app. 5G standalone is there. I'm like, huh. Now, but look at T-Mobile's. Jesus Christ. Look at T-Mobile's. T-Mobile has a preferred network type right above 5G standalone, kind of in the middle part. Look at that preferred network type where you can select the network you prefer to be on. T-Mobile, you can prefer to be on 3G, 4G, or 5G, right? And it'll stick to that. Well, on AT&T, there is none. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the hell is going on? I could not get this phone on 5G. I tried 5G standalone activated, 5G standalone not activated. And I tried it with roaming on. I tried it with roaming off. I tried to switch mobile data on. I tried to switch mobile data off. I restarted the phone. Airplane mode on, airplane mode off, everything. It would not jump on 5G. And I was right next to a tower. So watch this. So here's the network test on AT&T. As you can see, I'm getting a strong signal, but it's only on LTE. I'm on band 5, only on LTE. And I cheated a little bit. You can see the results before. You can see them on the phone. So look at that graphic to the left. It shows you my speed test results on AT&T. On 4G LTE, it would not get on it would not get on 5G. And if you wait a second, I'll show you just how close I was to a AT&T tower. It was literally across the street. So, and there was a clear line of sight. There was nothing that was blocking the signal. Look right here. You see where that is? That's an AT&T 5G tower I use all the time. Well, not all the time, but for my network testing, I've gotten 5G on a bunch of other devices. This one, no 5G, just AT&T 4G. And the thing that sucks, they're slowly phasing out 4G. So if you plan on, if you're like, well, I can deal with 4G, right? Saves battery life. Plus, most people on 5G anyways now, you get some decent speeds on 4G, right? Not quite. Look at those speeds. So, pretty embarrassing, honestly. Very embarrassing. Not just for AT&T, but for nothing. Like, what are we doing here? This is, I thought we had moved past this. So that's AT&T for you. 4G only. So that's essentially, now, it's 4G plus. At least you got 4G plus, right? Yeah. So let's move on to T-Mobile. So give this video just a second. See, I had to include this video. Some of it, my audio sucks, so that's why there's no audio. But I wanted to give you a visual because I know some people would say I'm lying or say whatever. You didn't do the test or you just came up with that. No. So look at the T-Mobile. See the T-Mobile 5G tower on the other side of the street. Now, we'll cheat a little bit. You can see the network test results that I get. But look, we're on band 41, T-Mobile, 5G, very strong signal, -59. That's a really, really strong 5G signal. Now, look at the test results that we got with T-Mobile 5G. Are they the best scores? 158 download, 105 upload speeds. Not the greatest, but it'll do, I guess. Now, I have a network test on my S23 Ultra. I put my SIM card back into my S23 Ultra after this, and I'll show you what the test results are. I'll let this video finish out, but I mean, it's not the greatest, right? So let me show you here. So this is when I got home. That's my Wi-Fi on the Nothing Phone 4a Pro on the left. Pretty good. T-Mobile is in the middle. That's on network, T-Mobile network, 5G in the middle. And then AT&T all the way on the right, 4G LTE plus. Don't forget the plus. Sucks, right? So, and no Verizon with this phone, unfortunately. Now, let me show you what the T-Mobile network did back in my S26 Ultra, right? So remember that, 158 or 105. 158 or 105. Let's see here. Let me remove this and let me pull up my S26 Ultra test. There's my S26 Ultra. Now, it's about double the, almost double the download speeds at 264. This is with my T-Mobile SIM back in my S26 Ultra. And then upload speeds are a little under, what was the 158 and 105? So 158 is almost double with a score of 264. And the upload speeds are about 40% of lower with the S26 Ultra than what they are with the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. So download speeds are more important unless you're uploading a YouTube video or you're uploading something to the cloud. Then your upload link speeds matter, but usually it's just the download speed links, right? Watching a video, playing games, doing whatever, downloading a game, I don't know, music, whatever. So I mean, take it for what you will. I don't know. What other tests do I have here? And here are these so-called bands that, well, not so-called, these are the bands. And I made a whole video about this, of how on paper the Nothing Phone 4a Pro technically should work on all three major carriers in all MVNOs. Everything matched up. Now, was it exactly band for band on T-Mobile, on AT&T, on Verizon with the Nothing Phone 4a Pro? No, there was one, maybe two missing here or there, but a large majority of each band set was on the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. So essentially, we walked away from making that video stating like you shouldn't really have a problem at all. And real world testing shows it's quite the opposite. So in my opinion, and I think the proof is here. Now I'm in South Texas, but I think this is basically anywhere, well, at least in the United States. If you want to use the Nothing Phone 4a Pro, I would only use it on T-Mobile or a T-Mobile MVNO. So Google Fi, yes, will work with the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. Google Fi will work because they use the T-Mobile network, T-Mobile tower. They piggyback off of T-Mobile's network. So yes, the Google Fi will work in the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. Shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. In fact, I think it'll work just as well as this test. I think my S26 Ultra, I think you should get somewhere between, low hundreds, low 200s with Google Fi, and then anywhere from 67 upload speed link to, I don't know, 100, something like that. Now, I think there was a lot of network congestion because in that same spot, I've gotten 800 megabits on the download speeds. I've gotten up to 200, 300, 400 on the upload speeds. But it just depends on who's around you, who's using the network, who's using the tower as well with you. But all these tests that I did were done within 5, 6, 7 minutes, 10 minutes of each other. So pretty accurate. Let's see. T-Mobile is the only network in my area that my Xiaomi 17 Ultra like. Ooh, that's a nice phone. Will work on. I'm sure imports are basically all the same way. Yes. I've never had any issues. And that's why I have not left T-Mobile or a T-Mobile MVNO, right? That's why I'll never, well, I never say never. But that's why I stay with T-Mobile, because I've had a decent number of phones that I've purchased outside of the carriers, or hell, even outside of this market. Just in the last couple months alone, I purchased a few phones from India, from eBay, and Motorola Signature. My first OnePlus 15, both came from India. Um, T-Mobile worked great, right? I really didn't have a problem. So uh, if you're going to be importing phones, if you're going to be buying phones outside the market, you're going to want to get T-Mobile. All right, it is what it is. Maybe a little more expensive, but it's a price you got to pay if you want to use a Xiaomi 17 Ultra, right, or a um, apparently a nothing phone 4A Pro now. Any news? If it will work with Cricket Wireless? Sorry, just got here. I do have news for you. The answer is no. Unfortunately, not. I'm gonna make a independent. I'm gonna take this live stream and make an entire video from this live stream. You know, clip some parts out, put them together, upload it to YouTube, and it'll be its own independent video. But essentially, over the last 30 minutes, I explained my whole day and how it was a mess. But I did get the testing in, and Verizon does not work at all. Verizon will not accept the IMEI on its network. It's not compatible. I called, spent 45 minutes on the phone with Verizon trying to ask if they could just manually approve that IMEI for their network, basically whitelist it. Doesn't work like that. Can't do it. So Verizon is a no-go for this phone at all. And AT&T only gets 4G LTE, and the scores are horrible. You want to see the AT&T scores? Now, remember, Cricket uses AT&T, so if you use Cricket in this phone, you're probably going to see similar scores or worse, because AT&T gets priority over Cricket. But it's essentially the same thing, right? So look at this. If you just joined us, let me show you what we got for AT&T. Where is it now? Where is it? These are my AT&T scores. Yikes. 3 download, 3.08 download, 3 megabytes upload per second. That's horrible for 2026. Absolutely horrible. And again, I couldn't for my life to get it to go to 5G. Let me show you what it looked like. So this is what it looks like inside the phone with the AT&T SIM in it inactive. They have 5G standalone option, but they don't have network preference. Like on the T-Mobile one, like this one. Let me show you a difference. So in T-Mobile SIM settings, you have the preferred network type where you can select 3G, 4G, 5G. That wasn't even available for AT&T. I could not, for my life, get it on 5G. I activated roaming. I deactivated roaming. I activated 5G standalone. I deactivated 5G standalone. I restarted my device to reactivate it, refresh the network connection. I activated mobile data. I turned it off. I spent 5-10 minutes just trying to see how I can get it activated, 5G activated, because I was like, well, hold up. I know I didn't buy like a 4G data plan, right? So I went back on AT&T's website. No, it says my plan included 5G. So I'm like, what the freak is going on? 4G only. Hang on one second. Hang on. Let me show you. Hang on 1 second. My cat about to jump on my desk and ruin this whole stream. Give me 1 second. Let me show you this little test real quick that I did. It'll just take me 30 seconds to get her out of the room. Watch it. There's the network testing. It's like a 1-minute video. Let me deal with this cat, and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So what a bummer. What an absolute bummer. I can't believe we're still here. It's a real, and the reason why there's no audio on this video is because I had everything planned out for today. Perfect. Had everything perfectly planned out. Just my luck, everything went haywire. My audio was jacked up. I'm like, how do I make a video out of this? I said, oh, damn it, I'm just gonna have to mute the video, play it on my live stream, and then I can go from there. But my audio is jacked up. I got a call in the middle of doing a speed test, so I had to redo the scene. I mean, it was just a complete mess. Ah, boy. Doesn't the S26 Ultra have in 258, in 260, and in 261 band? Maybe that explains why the download results are higher. Yes, it does. The S26 Ultra is spec'd out when it comes to the unlocked model from Samsung is spec'd out when it comes to band selection. Yes, it does. It sure does. Ah, damn. Oh, well, I'm used to it not working anyway. I know, right? But that's why I was so excited this year. I was like, finally, they release the Phone 3 fully unlocked, but the A series, we've never been down this road before with the A series. So I was like, well, finally, we're going to get it to work on fully unlocked with everything. No more network issues. Just slap a SIM card in it and go, right? Like with most unlocked phones. Nope. It appears we're back on the one carrier train again. Yeah, it's a bummer about Verizon. It sounds like a similar experience I had with the Nothing Phone 3. Oh, really? Damn. If Nothing had better US carrier support, they'd be a good choice for those who don't want Samsung, Google, or OnePlus. Well, now OnePlus is going away, but another man. Do you see the opportunity? You bring up a fantastic point. They are wasting a fantastic opportunity for them to gain market share. Now, it's not going to be a drastic market share, right? Let's not kid ourselves. They're not just going to, boom, make a dent in the US market. It takes time. As you know, with Pixel, hell, they've been around for more than 10 years. That's just on Pixel. They had Nexus before that. And they're just now getting 5% of the market share after what, 15 years, 16 years. So, yeah, that's why I'm really disappointed. I'm very disappointed with where we're at right now. I'm very disappointed with Nothing. I think they've squandered a fantastic opportunity. The phone, they're leading up to the release of this 4A Pro, especially coming from the Phone 3. I'm sorry. I've had every Nothing phone up until the 3. I was like, there's no way I'm spending money on that ugly phone. But the excitement rolling into this 4A Pro was very high. We're supposed to fully unlock it for all carriers to work. Now what they do is they've hamstrung themselves into just a little sliver of people that can use the phone. Who's going to buy it just to use it on Wi-Fi? Really? So not only are you only, and look, it's a very small niche market that even knows what a Nothing phone is. So you're essentially cutting your user base into a third of what you thought it was going to be originally. Now, maybe they knew. I don't know what's going on at Nothing. If I'm Carl Pay, I'm gonna at you in this video because I know your personal account. I'm gonna at you in this video. You gotta do something with this, man. Like, this is ridiculous. If you really want to make a dent in the US market, if you really want to gain some more users and some more users and some more users as years go on, you got to have it fully available for all carriers, because not a lot of people are just going to switch. Because remember, it's not just like one line on Verizon or even AT&T. Most people have like a family like me, right? You got multiple lines. I'm not just going to like a phone so much if I'm on Verizon with a family plan. I'm not just going to leave my family plan and port my number to T-Mobile. I'll probably have a line of a phone tied to my line financing with Verizon, so that means I have to pay it in full just to port my number over. It's just too many hoops you have to jump through to move to T-Mobile just to be able to use this phone. You see what I'm saying? Like, not many people are going to do that. In fact, I love Nothing a lot. I'm a huge fan of theirs, and I don't even think I would do that, quite honestly. Like if I didn't have T-Mobile, I don't think I would mess up my family plan just to go to T-Mobile just to use this phone. So I don't know what they're doing, but they got to get their shit together. They hired about a year ago. They hired, I forgot his name. They hired somebody to be in charge of the, because nothing's based in London and they're real big in India. Nothing hires a specific person for the US market. His job was, I don't know. I don't know what the title is. I can't remember, but it was something USA or something US market where he oversees the sales. I'm sure he oversees the compatibility of, well, maybe they overlooked that, of the carriers. So maybe I could find out who that is. In fact, I'll probably do that tomorrow. See if he has any social media, do some snooping around, see if I can connect with him on social media. I'm going to try and reach out to him personally on the back end and see if I can get an interview. I did that with OnePlus. They haven't they haven't even read my message because I was going to ask him, what's going on? Why are you leaving the global market? I just wanted to get some answers. I wanted them to reassure their current users that they're still going to update their phones. Well, I'm going to reach out to this person that's hired by nothing, that's in charge of the US market, and ask him what the hell's going on with this carrier thing. Like I don't understand. Did y'all overlook this? Did y'all not? Why did y'all not get it approved for Verizon compatibility on their network? Why is why is it not getting 5G on AT&T? Is it a simple software update where you can tweak the network settings? Because if that's the case, they need to do that ASAP, because who wants to use a phone on 4G? So it'll work on AT&T on 4G only. However, the speeds are so ridiculously slow, it's not even worth using it at all on AT&T. And again, Verizon, it's not approved for their network. So they're not gonna, Verizon doesn't work. It's T-Mobile or nothing, or T-Mobile MVNOs or nothing. But I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna find this guy's name. I'm gonna reach out to him on social media. I'm gonna DM him and add him and see if I can interview him. Quite frankly, just get some explanation, because this is not, dude. Are they aware of this? Like, part of me thinks that they're not aware of this, and this is why they need to hire somebody. And I'm not criticizing him because I don't know the full story, but this needs to be straightened out. They're missing sales of these phones because they simply don't work on majority of the USA networks still. So they got to get their shit together. Sorry. Yeah, definitely. I'm on Mint Mobile right now, but planning to switch to US Mobile after my annual plan expires. Since US Mobile works with all three carriers, I hope there's no issue with Lightspeed. Great question. So I looked into this earlier today. So yes, it will work with US Mobile if you choose T-Mobile as your preferred network. If you throw a SIM card or your US Mobile eSIM in the Nothing Phone 4A Pro, if you choose Verizon, you won't even get service. In fact, you might get rejected. So don't even try Verizon. If you choose the AT&T network, you only get 4G, and it's total speed slow. So the only option for you is T-Mobile. Yes, it will work with US Mobile on the T-Mobile selected. And I think you said Lightspeed. They got all these weird names for them. I couldn't remember what it was, but yes, US Mobile will work if you choose T-Mobile to be your provider within US Mobile on that phone. So yeah, it'll work. And it'll work for Mint Mobile. It'll work for Google Fi. Remember, it'll work for T-Mobile and every MVNO under T-Mobile. So it will work fully with Mint Mobile. It will work fully with US Mobile with Lightspeed. It will fully work with Google Fi, in whatever else MVNO is under T-Mobile umbrella. I've been narrowing down my choice with a new phone. Currently, I'm Moto Edge Plus 2023, and now with this news and the OnePlus news, it's all down to Moto Stylus 2026. iPhone 17e or a Moto Razr Fold. Yeah, that's a good you're a Motorola fan, those are decent phones. What do you have? What carrier do you have? Because I'm trying to think within that price point, this would be a good option if you have T-Mobile or one of the T-Mobile carriers, MVNOs, or yeah, the Moto, the new Moto Edge. What about the Moto Fusion? Do you like the Moto Fusion? They have I think those use MediaTek. They have the real bold blue colors and the purple colors, and has that felt back. That's a decent phone, but very disappointing. Very disappointing for this. Now, my main SIM is back in my S23 Ultra. Just because I wanted to, after testing it in this, I put it back in here to network test it in here just to see what the speeds were. And I have not put it back in here. But I'll probably do that tomorrow because I'm going to do I got the Buds A. Yeah, the Fusion looks badass. Fusion looks really cool. You got Cricket? Yeah, it's not going to work in a nothing phone. Sorry. I mean, it will, but you're only going to get 4G. And again, it's so slow, it's not even worth it. So essentially, Verizon and AT&T are not working. We'll just say that on the nothing phones, which sucks. But I got the Buds A, and I got the Nothing Ear 3 over here that I'm going to be doing some testing on. But other than that, if you have T-Mobile, it's a good option. But other than that, I wouldn't waste time and or money. I'm using US Mobile right now with the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. Even Darkstar and Lightspeed works just fine with me. And I have been getting better speeds in my Pixel 10 Pro and 5G. Pro XL and 5G. No kidding. Nothing Phone. What is Darkstar? Darkstar is AT&T. Lightspeed, T-Mobile. Interesting. Well, I don't know what the hell was going on with mine. Again, I thought I purchased the wrong plan. I went back and it says unlimited 5G and 4G when available. And I'm like, damn. Well, hold up. Does your network, tell me, does your network look like this? Network settings. No. Does your network settings look like that? Where you, well, it may be different because you have US Mobile, but if it uses AT&T service, do you have preferred network type available in your network settings on your Nothing Phone 4a Pro? Because I didn't have it on mine. Like, what the hell's going on? Crazy. What do you think about Oppo going global? Was thinking about getting that since I really wanted the OnePlus 13, 15. Yes, I think it's fantastic. They remove one. I'm sad about OnePlus, but at least they give us something in return, right? Now, here's what I'm still trying to figure out. We know the Oppo Find X9 Ultra is being launched globally. Now, that's, everybody knows what the Find X9 Pro looks like. It looks very similar to the OnePlus 15. Well, the Ultra looks different. The Ultra has got like one of those big ass round photo, those big ass round islands on there. It looks like a damn stovetop or a burner, right? From a stove. The Ultra has that. So the Ultra doesn't even look like a OnePlus 15. I'm trying to get confirmation that they're also going to release the Find X9 Pro, the one that looks like the OnePlus 15 for global markets. That's the one I really want to get. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the phones that have the big circle on the back, not the best looking phones in my opinion. If I had my choice, I would go with the X9 Pro. But the CEO, when he confirmed they were going global, it just said Ultra. It didn't say Pro. So I'm like, well, damn. I really want to get the Pro. And I know it's been out for a little while, but I really want to. Yeah, those have some of the best cameras on any mobile device. So I'm very excited. And look, if they just bring the Ultra to the table, that's a start, right? Maybe next year they'll bring the Ultra and the Pro, the Find X10 Pro and X10 Ultra. It's a start. At least they're going global, which means next year, you know, maybe add some more. The year after that, maybe add more devices. So yeah, it sucks for OnePlus, but you know, I was telling a subscriber yesterday, if you have a OnePlus 15, that might be a collector's item. Now, as funny as that sounds, think about it. If you have a OnePlus 15, think of it. Think of this. If you have a OnePlus 15, it might just be a collector's item. I can promise you, over the next 6 months, over the next year, over the next 18 months, over the next 24 months, you're going to see the average aftermarket retail price, the average price going for a OnePlus 15, let's say 18 months from now, on Swappa, on Mercari, on Facebook Marketplace, is going to be a lot higher, meaning that OnePlus 15 is going to hold its retail value, I think, pretty well, because that's the last real OnePlus flagship phone that they're going to put out, right? At least for the global markets. So, and legally, they still have to uphold their end of the update term, meaning if they said they were going to update their phones for 5 years, legally, they have to continually update their phones for 5 years. So you're going to get updates. The question is, are you going to get new features in those updates? That's questionable, but at least you'll have the security will be there. You're not going to be a security risk or, worry about somebody hacking into your phone, at least for the next 5 years. But if you have a OnePlus 15, don't be in a rush to get rid of it, because I honestly think that's going to turn into a classic phone, one that everybody will remember. And quite honestly, that'll be a fantastic option. It's one of the best phones you can get. Let's face it. And again, the cameras may not be the top 3 in the world, but they're certainly, look, they're probably better than the S26 Ultra. The S26 Ultra cameras are nothing to brag about. So it holds its own versus the S26 Ultra. The only thing it's missing is an S Pen. So I think the OnePlus 15 right now is still a fantastic option. If you can find one at a good price, I would go ahead and get it. My Nothing phone shows 5G preferred network type and 5G standalone. No way. So what the hell was going on with mine today? Huh. Man, I'm gonna have to look into that, because I'm not saying I believe you. I'm just saying, why does it not show that on my end? Man, that's crazy. I just wouldn't be of a phone with great cameras and always had Oppo got super good cameras. Plus, I would love to use IR Blaster again. Yeah, that's people forget those IR Blasters used to be on all phones back in the day, and they slowly got phased out. I'll forget I have an IR Blaster on the OnePlus. It's definitely fun to use. It's a nice little feature that it definitely comes in handy. Nothing phone tends to not tell the spec on their network bands are. Yeah, look, I brought this up. Where's my band? So here in the United States, I know I have a lot of viewers around the world, but I dedicated an entire video to this topic. And here are the USA network bands, and I got the confirmed bands that would work in the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. We went through each and every band, what will work, what would not. And I got surprised today. A lot of I could only get 4G to work with AT&T. Now we have a viewer here that says his 5G works for AT&T. So I don't know what's going on with that on my end. I believe our viewer, but Verizon didn't even work at all. Wouldn't even accept the phone on their network. So it's a disappointing. It's a real big disappointing time that we're still stuck in this position. You really like tech, but struggle with retaining the ability to use it. Do you know of any classes, courses that are useful for being more tech savvy? No. And that might not be a bad idea, but it would have to be very specific. Like, in what regards? Like, like for for somebody to host a tech class in IR blasters, how to use an IR blaster. You know what I'm saying? You had to be I mean, I guess you could make a general course and have a new lesson each day or each week, but I had no. May not be a bad idea though. I might look into that. I think of me hearing all these news, I just want to see how good this Moto Razr is going to be. The price, the battery, as well as the pen support. Jim out the new one, right? The signature fold. Yeah, that looks like a badass foldable. It sure does. Got you. eSIM setup. Okay. I might look into that and do a revised version of that video. I'll look into that tomorrow too. Definitely, no problem. No problem at all. I might have to look into US Mobile and download an eSIM tomorrow and retest it and retest it. Retest it. Well, let's see here. Let me show you. This is what I got with my AT&T network test. Pretty bad. That was on 4G on the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. Here's my T-Mobile speeds with my T-Mobile SIM and the Nothing Phone 4a Pro here. The 158 download, 105 upload. That's with T-Mobile on the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. And here is, oh, you know what? I got it all together. Duh. Not that. Let's see. Can I fast forward this? Right here. Those are all my network testing. Verizon didn't work at all, but I got Wi-Fi right here. Now it only has Wi-Fi 6. I have Wi-Fi 7 in our home studio. Wi-Fi 7. It doesn't even get 6E. It just gets Wi-Fi 6. Just I wasn't aware of that. I thought the Nothing Phone 4a Pro got Wi-Fi 6E. Not the biggest bummer in the world, but I was kind of surprised by that today. Wi-Fi 6 still get good, respectable scores, as you can see there on the left-hand side. T-Mobile in the middle, and AT&T on the right on the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. You need a new laptop. Any suggestions? Yes, I do have a suggestion. The sooner you buy, the better, because if you haven't really been so the price of memory has skyrocketed in the last year, specifically like in the last 3 to 4 months. I mean, tripled the price, which is bad for if you need a new laptop, because that increases the price of laptops. It like phones, it depends on what you're going to use it for. Not every laptop is the same, like not every phone is the same. I've tried Samsung. I'm not a Apple user. I despise Apple. I have an iPhone here that I don't use. I tried a MacBook, I returned it. I've had an iPad, I returned it. So not the best when it comes to Apple products and or services and or tips. But I've tried the other big names, right? Samsung. Their laptops typically suck, overheat crazy. But this year, the new Panther Lake Intel CPU seems to be really good. So I think they got their overheating under control. If you buy a brand new Samsung laptop, but the base model is like $1,000, the really good, the one you really need to get that won't generate lag, won't slow down over time. Like all my laptops have like 32 gigs of RAM in them. I can't use anything less because of what I do. But here's the conundrum: the price has doubled in the last few months. So I don't know. You could just go with the Acer, not Acer. I use HP. I've tried all Acer. I've tried Samsung. I use HP. I have the OmniBook. What is this? The HP OmniBook Ultra Flip laptop. It's got a 3K OLED display, 120 hertz. It's really, really nice. But you know, just like a phone, if you want, I would not recommend any base models. Like, you know, you can get a laptop for $300-400, but I wouldn't do it. I'd rather get like a 2-year-old flagship top of the line laptop, honestly, that performs still well. It's hard to suggest, man, because look, this doesn't have many USB ports, and I have to have a USB dongle. It's only got 3 type C ports, and that's it. So now they're all Thunderbolts. Like, this is a top of the line laptop, but some people need an HDMI port. It all depends. Email me, eSIMstudios@gmail.com, and I can fill you in a little more. I can get what you're needing it for, and then I can get you, brainstorm a little list for you. eSIMstudios@gmail.com. Yeah, it was good. And remember, that was on Wi-Fi 6. It only gets Wi-Fi 6. Does not get Wi-Fi 6E or Wi-Fi 7. Nothing Phone 4a Pro only gets Wi-Fi 6. So pretty good scores for that. You gotta remember, it's a budget phone, so it's not gonna have top of the line everything, but those were good scores. I was impressed. Basic usage, surfing the web, emails. I would just go to an HP laptop, honestly. You don't need anything special. It's still brand name. Acer tends to be a little bit on the cheaper side as far as materials they use. HP, pretty good. Yeah, I can't use that one. On new phones, yeah, we definitely don't have enough time. It depends on what you're going to use it for. How much you're going to spend. Yeah. Battery life has been crazy on this thing. I charged it Friday night when I went all day Saturday, about 5 hours screen on time, and ended the day with 59%. Was Sunday, 4 hours. Yeah, wow, that's crazy. So you've had yours for a few days. I just got mine, what was it, yesterday? So I just charged it to full 100% earlier. So I'm gonna get my screen on time and stuff like that here. It takes about a week for it to settle in, so looks pretty good. Yeah, I think I charged mine with 18%. I have not. I've had one Xiaomi phone, and it was years ago. It was, I don't know how old y'all are, but if you remember the Xiaomi with the Android 1 operating system, so Android had this deal where they put basically Pixel software, stock Android Nexus software, on other manufacturers' phones. Xiaomi was one of them. Sold them here. Motorola was one of them. They sold it here. I got all those, and that was the one and only Xiaomi phone that I've ever had. I think it was the Xiaomi X, was it X2 or Mi 2? Xiaomi Mi 2, something like that. I thought it was great. I thought it was really good, but no, never had a Poco phone. Never. I mean, I can always buy one, right? I can always buy one on eBay, but never have. Always wanted one though. Just never purchased one. Probably will here in the future. HB is the bomb. Kept the laptop in my car trunk for years. Dead of the winter still. Damn. That's pretty impressive. Something like that. Look, I mean, if you don't need it for a specific reason, just the basic. But I would go with a brand name laptop manufacturer. And try to stay away. Not necessarily they're bad, but like Acer, again, the brand names use a little bit better parts inside, quite honestly. It's probably why it lasted in your car in the dead of winter. I appreciate the time. I'm getting my phone blown up saying it's time to eat. So I got to go pick up some food, but I appreciate the time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. I'm going to have more 4A, nothing phone 4A Pro stuff coming out here pretty soon. Remember, the case manufacturers they started making cases late. They do that for all nothing phones, right? I don't think they get molds before launch, so they're getting their phones as we get them. So Spigen will come out with some cases. Who else? I think Milken said they might come out with a case. So I'm gonna do case reviews for this, camera reviews, all sorts of stuff. But as long as you're using it on T-Mobile, maybe AT&T, we should be fine. But subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, if you're new to the channel, I do giveaways all the time here, right? I see a lot of new people in the chat. I do giveaways. We do cash apps. We do Amazon gift cards. I've given away earbuds. We do one, at least one a week, and we do them on our live stream. So yeah, there's 2 ways to win, enter and win. 1, be subscribed. 2, just simply enter like you're watching now on the live stream. All you got to do is enter the chat, and I'll send it to you anywhere in the world. So make sure you subscribe. I'll probably do a giveaway Thursday, probably Friday this week. Probably Friday. Yeah, I got some stuff here we can give away. So I will see y'all tomorrow. Please take care. Please have a safe evening, and appreciate the time. Thank you. Appreciate it.